If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And of course, if it ain't fixed, break it.
That's one hell of a way to introduce the Cloward Piven strategy, which we are seeing right before our eyes today. But I don't want to make any assumptions. Let's just review what this Marxist strategy is, and then we'll get into today's headlines that show us we are witnessing this.
That's the basic theory behind one of the most controversial American political theories of the 20th century. The Cloward Piven strategy is a political gambit designed to overwhelm the American government by placing so many demands on the bureaucratic structure that it collapses.
Ah, yes, collapsing the system by overwhelming it. This, today, right now, pretty much. Video from a contact on the ground in Eagle Pass, Texas. Bill Mulligan of Mulligan, I don't know how his name is pronounced, of Fox News. This is what's going on in Eagle Pass, Texas right now. Shows a mass of thousands of migrants waiting to be processed by Border Patrol after they cross illegally today. I spent hundreds of days there over the past 2 years, and I've never seen it like this. Oh, I would call that the embodiment of the Cloward Piven's plan. Here are the numbers in Eagle Pass right now. 4,000 illegally crossing today with no end in sight, and more than 4,000 are already in custody. Yeah, that seems like an overwhelming of the system to me.
It's sort of a shock and awe campaign, a surprise attack on entrenched systems meant to force major changes to the ways that things are handled by the government.
So what is contributing to this massive overload in Eagle Pass, Texas? I mean, look at these numbers. The number of people is just absolutely mind-boggling. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. All these people and more coming, waiting to be processed. 4,000 crossed today, 4,000 before. That's 8,000. What's causing this? At least this particular surge right now. Rail. Literal rail delivery of illegal immigrants right into the American interior.
U.S. border officials have closed 2 railroad bridges between Texas and Mexico. This comes after CBP reported a surge in migrants smuggled in by train.
Fox's Mills Hayes is live in Eagle Pass, where thousands of migrants are still arriving every day in Mills. Customs and Border Protection, they're closing down rail traffic because of those huge groups of migrants riding the rails now to get to the border.
So they had to shut this down. They had to shut this down because it was overwhelming the system. But you can't take an action and there not be an opposite and equal reaction. Something can't happen and there not be collateral damage or other consequences, intended or unintended. This is what is being said by Union Pacific about this. Check this out. Roughly 45% of all rail cars moving to and from Mexico across the El Paso and Eagle Pass, there isn't enough capacity on the other 4 gateways to reroute them. Union Pacific urges the Eagle Pass and El Paso border crossings to be open immediately. This is impacting agricultural products, food and beverages, agricultural products, grain held in 6 Midwest states, food and beverages, beer and dry food products, automotive, finished vehicles and parts, consumer goods and industrial commodities, metals and cement. Do you think this is by accident that they are trying to overwhelm the system and also do it in a particular place where they know logistically it's going to hurt Americans getting agricultural products, food and beverages, consumer goods, and industrial commodities?
This is Eagle Pass, Texas, live right now, where we're getting word that migrants are turning themselves into Border Patrol by the thousands.
And we know that CBP is shutting down those railroads because, one, they need to redeploy their officers to these areas right here. They need more help processing these migrants and taking them to the processing centers. And the second reason is because CBP says that they have seen a resurgence in criminal organizations using these railroad trains to smuggle in migrants.
Now, the obvious answer is, why don't we just stop them from coming in? Why is law enforcement that's supposed to stop these people not stopping them and being redeployed to process them? Well, that's the breakdown of the system, because Mayorkas, DHS, Border Patrol, CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, ICE, Department of Homeland Security, they are breaking the law. They are breaking the law and not upholding the Constitution to protect our borders. Hey, that's not a left or right thing anymore. Do you know what Katie Hobbs, the Democrat of Arizona, just did? Yeah, she did something pretty right-wing for a far-left governor, Democrat governor of a border state.
And it's not just in Texas. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs now sending in the National Guard to help with the surge there after issuing an executive order on Friday. The Tucson sector has been the busiest, where an average of 10,000 migrants cross every single day.
10,000 migrants a day. Times 365 days, that's almost 3.7 million a year. Totally unsustainable. So you've got Katie Hobbs on the Arizona-Mexico border. You've got this Eagle Pass, Texas border crisis, but it's not just there. It goes all the way west to my hometown of San Diego, California as well.
Because of the massive increase in migrants, CBP has also closed a port of entry in Lukeville, Arizona, a pedestrian crossing in San Diego, and a vehicle crossing in Eagle Pass, Texas.
By the way, I didn't introduce myself. If you're new around here, I'm James, a retired banker, and some of you who know me may say James, or don't know me may say James. Well, I don't live in Arizona. I don't live in New Mexico, Texas, or California. It's not going to affect me. Really? Is there anyone who honestly believes that anywhere in the United States in 2023 going into 2024?
These rail shutdowns are going to have far-reaching impacts all across the country, not just in these border communities. I spoke with that one economic group who tells me it's going to impact states all the way up to Michigan. Many who rely on the auto industry for work, well, they also rely on goods that are coming over from Mexico that are now going to be taking much longer to get there.
So what is the end goal of this, Cloward Pivens, as it relates to the border crisis? What are the communist, Marxist, far leftists trying to do with this? Well, they've been wanting amnesty for a long time, right? This is one of the things. They want to break down American sovereignty, our national culture and borders and what have you. Well, if they overwhelm the system, they will convince the uniparty establishment, people in DC on both sides of the aisle. You have on the left, you have people that just want Marxism. They want open borders. They want a one world solution. On the right, you have people that are in bed with their lobbyists on big business who want cheap labor and want to drive down the labor costs at any cost. They don't care. They don't live in the towns we do. They live in little gated hubs, and they can jump on their jets and fly to their private islands. So you have factions that are supposed to be competing on the left and right, Democrat, Republican. It's a false dichotomy. It's really a uniparty when it comes to this. They want to crash the system so that they'll have to say, you know what, we're just going to have to do mass amnesty so these people are citizens, because it's going to be impossible to process all these people. we'll just give everyone citizenship or give everyone residency, and then those who really want can become citizens, and that'll solve the problem. And then when our social services, our schools, and everything are overwhelmed and about to collapse, the Marxists can say, we need to come in and fix this problem. Give us more power and we will fix it. That's right, the same people who caused the problem will make themselves as the savior and the solver of the problem that they caused in the first place by not protecting our border, our sovereignty, and our national security. Welcome to the CP strategy playing out right before our eyes.